Hi everybody, it's Miss Caskey and I'm here today to read a poem with you. I love using poems as a way of really looking at different words and seeing what I know about those words. So today we're going to take a look at a poem called The Brook and think about what it means, what it makes us feel and hear when we read the poem. And also we're going to think about what we know about some of the words that are inside of this poem. So before we start, let's think about what this poem's title is. The title is The Brook. And have you ever heard of a brook before? A brook is kind of like a stream or a river. It's usually something where water flows. So that's why I drew this picture of the water flowing down. So before we read our poem, we're going to kind of make a picture in our head, and that will help us to understand what our poem is talking about. So you can close your eyes if you want and just imagine if you were to see water flowing down a little stream. Maybe it's bubbling around and bouncing over little pebbles and rocks as it flows. When we think about a brook, we're thinking about a little bit of water flowing down, and usually there's lots of rocks and things that water will flow over. And our poem is going to describe that even more. It will especially describe what it might sound like to hear a brook. So while I read it, I want you to think about what you think it will sound like to hear a flowing brook or a flowing stream. Okay, let's take a close look at this poem, The Brook, and think about all these words in here and what we notice when we read through the poem. First, I'm going to read it so you can hear the rhythm or the beat in the poem. It will sound like this. The brook, grumbling, stumbling, fumbling all the day, fluttering, stuttering, muttering away. Rustling, hustling, rustling as it flows. This is how the brook talks, bubbling as it goes. It's almost like singing a song. It has a certain beat as it goes. I'm going to use yellow to circle the words that rhyme. So I'm going to read it through again, and I'm going to look for any words that rhyme at the end. It means they sound the same at the end of the word. Grumbling, stumbling. You might notice that both of those have ing at the end. Fumbling all the day. Fluttering, stuttering. Lots of ing words. Muttering away. I noticed A-Y and A-Y, and those rhyme. Day, away. Rustling, hustling, rustling as it flows. This is how the brook talks, bubbling as it goes. This part right here sounds like O's in the word flows. And also here, it's spelled different, but it sounds the same as O's. Flows rhymes with goes. Okay, now let's use a different color. And I'm going to circle wherever I see ing. I'll use blue for this. ing. Grumbling, stumbling, fumbling all the day, fluttering, stuttering, muttering away, rustling, hustling, rustling as it flows. This is how the brook talks, bubbling as it goes. There are so many ing parts. I'm going to circle them all. Fumbling, fluttering, stuttering, muttering, rustling, and hustling. Here's rustling again. And the last one here, bubbling. Look at all of those. A lot of the times in poems, we'll see words that have lots of things in common. And in this poem, we have a lot of words with ing. All right. I noticed that as I read through the whole poem, it had really great rhythm. And that means that when you read it, it kind of sounds like you're singing a song. There's a beat to it, and there's a special way that you say it to make it sound smooth. I also noticed that there were a lot of words that ended with ing. And I remember that when we think about a word that has ing at the end, it means that that is happening right now. So where it says grumbling, stumbling, that means that right now the brook is grumbling and stumbling, fumbling all the day. So all day long it's fumbling or kind of rolling. That water is rolling down over those rocks. Can you make that picture in your head to help you understand it better? I can almost hear what that water would sound like bubbling down the creek. All right, thank you so much for reading and thinking about this poem with me. It's fun to use poems to hear the rhythm in a poem, and it's also fun to practice all the different things that we know about words when we read a poem. We recognized all the words with ing, and we recognized all the words that rhymed, like day, away, and flows, goes. Those words sound the same at the end. Thank you so much for reading, writing, and thinking with me today, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. See you again soon.